and welcome to AI've Got Questions. I'm Stacey Epstein, your host. I'm a former CEO and four-time CMO, and I am in awe at how much AI is transforming our profession. I created this podcast to help expose some of the incredible new technologies and the amazing new ways we're doing work with AI in marketing and in go-to-market in general. I hope you enjoy the show. Here's the next episode. And today we have a very special guest. I know I say that about all of the guests. They're all special, but this one's extra special. Today we have someone on the episode who shares my last name. Please welcome to the show, Barry Epstein.
Yes, thank you very much. And I've heard your other podcasts, and I know you go back with many of these people at past jobs and experiences. I can truly say that you've known me your entire life. So it's an honor to be your brother. It's an honor to be on this podcast.
Yes, everyone. This is my brother, Barry Epstein, my older brother. So I haven't known him his entire life.
Right.
But
I went
the
2
inverse
years.
is not true.
Right. I went 2 years not knowing you. So it was fun when I met you. I remember it well.
Yeah, I'm sorry about those 2 years. Well, welcome to the show. Of course, how fun. I'm sure our dad is watching every minute of this episode. So at least we know we have one viewer of the YouTube video and not just the audio file. But very relevant to have you on the show because you've been doing video for a long time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey, and we'll go from there and talk about your awesome AI capabilities.
Yeah, great. Thanks. So I worked at Oracle for 14 years out of college. Had nothing to do with video. I was doing CRM consulting, selling projects, managing projects, etc. So very involved with those kind of technologies. And just after 14 years, I had the bug. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, something I'm sure you know well, and didn't really know where I was going to go, but I was approached with the idea to do corporate video. And of course, now it's but back in 2003, B2C had great video on commercials, 30-second ads. When it came to B2B, you didn't really have that. And I knew it firsthand because at Oracle, I was part of the 2-hour-long software demos. And the idea was 30-second to 2-minute videos that have all the sizzle and are compelling and compact like a B2C ad, but are geared for a B2B audience. And the question then was, well, where do you deploy it? Because it's obviously not going to run on TV, but the idea was the internet because you could be very targeted. You could put it on your website. And again, now it's like, duh. But in 2003, there really wasn't video on the internet. And it was just exciting enough that I said, let's go for it. And here we are 20 years later. I'm very blessed that we've built a big company out of it, great customers like Salesforce and others. And it's been just a wonderful experience communicating really sophisticated tech value propositions through video that's highly consumable, obviously originally through the internet, but then, mobile devices, social media, and of course, AI. So it's been a very exciting journey.
Yeah, amazing. Well, obviously, I have followed you on this journey as your sibling, but also as a customer. I think one of your first videos was that Success Factors video we did, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You have been, as you know, a tremendous help. And I really don't know how I'm going to get out of this situation or what I should do or how I'm going to approach something. I always call you. And it's been a fabulous, resource for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've talked on several podcasts about how important it is to truly know your customer and your target market. I guess you can say you truly know me, except for those few things I've hid from you over the years. But yeah, I guess I've never really thought about B2C versus B2B. Advertising and the 60-second spot has been around forever. Since radio. But once the internet was around was when we said, hey, we should be doing more to communicate our value proposition. I can't think of a single client that I have that doesn't have that option to watch an explainer video or a corporate overview or customer testimonial video. There's a lot of ways that we use video to really communicate a message. And it's been a really valuable tool for all of us. So how is that now changing with AI?
There's so many ways that it's changed. When 20 years ago, it was the ability to go to a website and on their homepage, as we did with Success Factors, testimonial, product explainer, product demo. And then over time, it evolved that you could really drive somebody down the entire funnel. You go to your homepage, there's a top of funnel overview. Then you maybe want to drill down and get kind of mid funnel with some demos or some customer testimonials and get really detailed with some really fine level demos and other things. So companies really proliferated a lot of video. What is interesting, and maybe I'm not exactly answering your question, but I think I'm going to get there in an interesting way. I remember and doing this even with you back in the old days, we would start to build a big library of video with the company. We would have a lot of explainers, a lot of product demos, product explainers, customer testimonials, thought leadership of your executive team, you name it. And the idea came, wow, we've got this great library. Let's make it discoverable. And we would do things like you can search for all the video you want, by industry, by product, by company size, whatever it is. And as a buyer, you could go to a company's site and say, well, I'm interested in the transportation industry, mid-sized company and products around logistics or whatever it is. And then automatically be served. Well, guess what? These 20 videos fit what you're talking about. And then they could go through and watch them. Never really got the traction and adoption that we were hoping it would. And I think it's just because that's not how people think. That's not how they want to go in. It's a lot of work okay, now I got 20 videos that I got to scroll through. And what AI has done is it has really changed the game. And forgive me for using a trite expression, but it really has changed that whole thing. It's made it more like a real sales opportunity. Again, I go back to the Oracle days. It's a 2-hour sales pitch, all the people, all the product experts, the demoers. But what makes it work for the users is they're at their computer and they're showing something and they're saying, well, wait. In my business, we do this. How would you handle that situation? What use case? And the rep may say, ooh, good question. Turn to one of the sales engineers and say, oh, yeah, no. And then they'd go in and they'd show it. So it's a demo, but it's a conversation. And what people want is a conversation. They don't want to start searching through a bunch of videos and scrolling, hoping to find the thing. Even if you have a transcript posted or you can search the text, it's not the same. So when the ability to do interactive and AI became more prominent, my first thought was, well, I don't get how you would use it for B2B. It seems to me that it's more of a B2C thing where you can configure your cart with all the features you want for that car or whatever it is. What color do you want? And just put it in a shopping cart. B2B doesn't work that way. You've got sophisticated solutions, be they software, whatever they are. They're the type of solutions that don't just get bought in a single transaction. And so the idea of interactive and AI doesn't really make sense. But then I thought, no, it does make sense when you think of it in the terms of that demo that I was talking about, where it's a conversation. I thought some of our customers have literally hundreds of videos that we've produced, and of course, many more that they've produced or others have produced in this library. If you could basically go and watch that top of funnel video, but you've got that sort of virtual sales engineer right there with them. And they're watching it, and maybe halfway through, they say, okay, got it. I understand what you do. What do you do for this industry, or can you handle this kind of scenario? And the sales engineer says, oh, absolutely, absolutely. So we do this and we do this, and they can give you a nice text answer, but they can annotate it with not just videos, but queued up sections of videos. Here is a product demo where we explain how we handle that. Here is some thought leadership where our CFO, our CMO talks about our solution in this industry. Here's some product demo, specifically how that works. And they're all keyed up. And you can just read the description, you can click and watch the video, and all of a sudden it's instantly discoverable. And the value of that is they're going to spend a lot more time than just that 1 or 2 minutes to watch the explainer video. Hopefully they will drive themselves down the funnel with the help of AI, who can take human form questions, give them the answers in text culled from the video library, and back it up with actual video.
Yeah, fascinating. Although I could argue maybe them spending time isn't even the metric anymore. Because let's just use an example to make it really clear to the listeners. Let's say I sell a CRM. You talked about Oracle. We have a really cool AI CRM coming up here on the show shortly. But let's say I'm looking at a new CRM and I have 5 things that are really, really important to me. And I need to make sure that my vendor has these 5 things. And so I could go to the library of videos and I could say, I want to make sure that it has marketing automation. And of course, that's a huge category, but let's just say that's, one of the things that's a must have. And then the AI would search all the videos and it would say, yes, and here are 4 snippets of video that shows you how well this vendor does marketing automation. And so then why do I have to sit through 30 minutes of a video watching a demo to see if I can find that feature? I'm done. So again, maybe how much time spent on the video is not the metric. Maybe it's how fast are they getting to the answer that they really wanted to get to in querying the videos.
That's absolutely right. It's not measured in the quantity of time spent. It's measured in the quality. And obviously, as we all know, it's the end result that matters. Did we drive someone down a funnel? Did they become a qualified lead and ultimately buy? And to your point, somebody comes in and they say, I'm busy. I want to get to the point here. I want to find out if this solution is worth my time exploring. This is my industry. These are the key functions I need. These are the things I'm concerned about. And you can ask them as regular questions right in the video. So maybe you watch the first 20 seconds. You say, okay, cool. I'm looking at the right solution. And I want to know, do you have customers in the retail industry? And how do they handle point of sale, blah, 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 blah. The answer will then come out. It'll be written in English. And by the way, it's only going to be pulled from your video. So you don't have to worry about it pulling some hallucination or
Yeah,
talking about your
amazing. Great
competitor.
point.
We can control what it trains on. So it's focused on you. Yes, we do handle this and we do handle that. And here's a demo where we show that feature. Here is this company in your industry talking about how they use it to solve this problem. And here's an explainer video that walks through whatever it is. And then follow-up questions. Okay, great, but what about international? How do you handle this? And then it'll literally say, just like AI, good question. Yes, we have international, blah, blah, blah. And even the ability to translate the video content. As many of our customers know, I end up doing a lot of the voice for our videos and was just blown away to see a video with my voice in Japanese as well as Spanish. And it truly was my voice. I have no idea how good my accent was, but that was all automatic. That was just click of a button to handle that.
Amazing.
And again, it's not set up like a virtual AI avatar who's looking at them and smiling. Prompt. It's the ability for you to type questions and it will type answers and give you links to video. But it is the most helpful assistant in the world. We all think about our great experiences with salespeople, be they personal or business. They listen. They're smart. They're like, yes, I got it. Okay, this is your answer. Does that answer your question? No, let me point you here. Let me show you this. And so got so excited when I realized, wow, how you can harness this investment in video. We would go do customer testimonials, and I know you had this experience as well. We would interview 5 people from the customer, and we would get hours of footage, and we would build a 2 to 3 minute customer testimonial. Well, that doesn't mean that there's not at least an hour's worth of really good content that just never got used because it doesn't make sense to make something that long. It's zero effort to just take that video and just connect it to this so
Oh,
that you may watch that 2 minute customer testimonial, but for answering questions, all the supporting
that
detail,
is
all the stuff that we painstakingly cut, like, oh, I hate to cut that, but it's too long. We got to make this short. It's all discoverable.
well, once again, maybe we don't need that metric anymore. It used to be 2 minutes and then it became 60 seconds. And now it's like, if it's longer than 30 seconds, no one's going to watch it. But now
Right.
it's like, I'm not trying to get people to watch my whole video. I'm trying to put out a bunch of content so that whatever they want to know, they can get to. And it's funny, I was talking to an investor friend of mine this morning, and we were just talking about how challenging it is right now to be a VC because there's this like old guard of SaaS companies that are likely to be very disrupted. And there's this new breed of, the types of companies that I have on this show. And it's hard to know who's going to be successful and who's not. And we talked about the ones that are just taking an existing process in the organization and putting AI on top of it. And then there are the others that are saying you should rethink your go-to-market strategy. And here's a perfect example. I used to have an SDR, a sales rep, an SE. I would do demos, and my website's purpose is just to give them some extra information to move them down the funnel. But if I go create a whole bunch of video content and then I just put it there, somebody can take themselves through the sales cycle because they can just ask the video, hey, I'm concerned about HIPAA compliance. Are you guys HIPAA compliant? Sure. Here's the segment of the video that you're HIPAA compliant. Well, I don't know how many customers my size there are. I'm going to ask how many Fortune 500. Well, here's 20 Fortune 500 customers. It's proof, it's verified, and in some ways, it's a lot easier. Just create a bunch of video content and put it out there.
Absolutely. And, to add a couple things, it's annotated. You ask about HIPAA compliance. Well, here's a little section from a webinar we did 6 months ago with the chief compliance officer for such and such health system, right from their mouths. And it was at minute, 42 and 18 seconds in the webinar. Nobody's ever going to find that, but this was instant. And talk about a credible annotated answer in video right from the source. And I want to add, I say video, but our customers are connecting more than just video. We're connecting access to web pages and PDF documents and things like that we can add because there is an interactive component to it as well. And not only can you make it reactive where somebody can ask a question, but you could prompt questions. So for example, and I'll use your HIPAA question, you're seeing a high level description of some functionality, and the little prompt appears. Want to learn about HIPAA compliance? Click here. And it is an interactive prompt that was timed to show up at that spot and 100% controlled by us. It can go to that section of video, or it can open up a web page, or it can open up a PDF, all within the same video window. Amazing. It's not like a playlist, that takes you out of the experience. And we can control. We can make it be full screen, or we can make it be a little mini window within. So you just close it when you're done, but you stay in the experience.
Well, that's just incredible. I can totally see how this is so game changing for marketers. Are there other ways that you're using AI that can help us marketers?
Absolutely. All of us, when we first heard of AI, we thought, wow, is AI going to start making the videos themselves? Are people going to just type in a prompt? I want a video that'll say this and say that, and then it'll write the script and create the video. Yes, that capability exists. Is that going to be the best way to sell your product? No. When everybody has that capability, it's going to be just like all writers have access to a word processor, all designers have access to Photoshop. You still got to add a human element to be better than your competition. But if you're not using the tools optimally, then you're going to fall behind. And we found video is exactly the same way. Where it's really changed the game for us is AI can automate and increase the time of so many tasks that used to be tedious that can happen so quickly, so that when you're in the brainstorming process and the dreaming process, we had a client today say, God, what if we did this? I know that would be a huge deal for you guys to mock up, and boom, within no time, they used AI to mock it up. This is the kind of thing we could do with that. Oh, that's great. But what if we did this? And what I found is it makes making video a lot more fun. And so we've used AI to become a lot more productive. We can get more video produced faster. I believe a much better experience for the people making the video. So not only do you get better discovery and usage of your content library, the individual elements of your library get better and more cost effective and time effective because of the AI tools that we use. And of course, we let you use.
Yeah, amazing, which is important because as we just talked about, the bigger your library of video is, the more complete the answers will be when a prospect comes to the site to ask it questions. Okay, so I want to do something fun. I want to take this video that we just filmed and I want to add all of these cool AI features. We can do that?
Absolutely. A great idea.
Okay, so we will have Ovation Solutions, that's Barry's company. We will have them do all these cool things to this video. I will put a link to that AI optimized video in the description of this podcast. So wherever you access this podcast, go to the description and you can click on a link and you'll see all of these really cool AI features optimized for this video. And Barry, how else can they find you so that they can start doing this with their own videos?
Absolutely. We're at ovationsolutions.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was awesome having you on the show, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you again soon.
And I want to say that I have listened to every one of the podcasts that you've released, and it has been an awesome opportunity to learn. It's such a valuable service that you're giving. So super
Well,
excited
thank
about
you.
that. Happy to be part of it.
Everything I know, I learned from my big brother.
I wasn't going to say it,
And
but
my
yeah.
dad, because he's watching, and my mom in heaven. All
Yeah. Well,
right. Thanks for joining the show.
thank you.